Sitting right across from me, here in a barren dressing room backstage at the Bushnell, is one of the true giants, in my own personal opinion, of country music, Montana Slim or Wilf Carter.
Thanks an awful lot. And it's grand to be here. As you say, it's kind of a barren room. It is. But down in the auditorium, the Bushnell Auditorium, it's packed.
Well, a lot of the folks were really warm to you down there, and that they remember their own youth of many of years gone by.
You know, it's really fantastic, and I walked on the stage this afternoon. To get the reception that I got, it kind of makes you sit back and just wonder, you know, so many years, and still the people so loyal. It's really fantastic. The only thing I can say is it's a great feeling.
Well, why don't you tell a little bit about your past history, where you were from, for some of the folks that don't know, and how you got your start and all that?
Well, to make a long story short, I was born in the eastern part of Canada, down Nova Scotia. It was there, regardless of what somebody may tell you, you may listen to somebody else or you may copy somebody else, when I was 9 years old. And that is just about 60 years ago that I first heard my first yodeling song by a yodeling Swiss in a Chautauqua. I was teaming oxen. I was taking apples into the town, and I saw this poster. And it said, "The yodeling fool will appear in Chautauqua of Uncle Tom's cabin." He had his hands in the air on this poster, his mouth wide open. And I went to town and asked everybody what a yodeling fool was, but they didn't know. I went and asked my dad, he being of Swiss origin, he said somebody extra good. I asked if I may go that night. I'd made 25 cents a day. He said no. It took every penny we could to keep everybody in the wolf from biting our heels at the door. He was a Baptist minister and made between $800 and $900 a year to supply and feed us all. But I stole away that night. I wouldn't advise the kids to do it, but I did. And I heard and listened to this great Swiss yodeler do "Sleep, My Little One, Sleep." I put it on a record for RCA Victor 30 years later. And that's where I started when I was 9 years old. And I didn't hear anybody, only him, when he sang and yodeled, and that's where I got my idea. And that's where you could use the word I copied, and listening to him. But I made my own yodeling up as I went along. And then I went to the north, and then I went to the west. I worked for the Canadian Pacific Railways in the mountains as a trail guide. Was there a great many of my yodeling songs was originated. A great many songs were written. Then I took part in all the big rodeos. It was there I wrote many a rodeo song. And that is the start of where Wilf Carter, in other words, Montana Slim, got going. 1934, I came to New York. And the Columbia Networks was just starting then. They put me on, and Bert Parks, who is now a famous man, was my announcer. They nicknamed me Montana Slim, and the name has stayed with me.
What was your first side that you cut for the Canadian Victor folks?
My first side that I cut was an audition. In 1932, I was on my way with the Canadian Pacific Railways, going for the initial cruise on that great, beautiful vessel, the Empress of Britain. It was there that I stopped in at Montreal and asked for an audition. They heard a song called My Swiss Moonlight Lullaby, which was then the origination of the echo yodeling. They said it would never go. I didn't know at the time that the engineer, up in Canary Heaven as I called it, put on a big thick wax, started it going, and he was the producer of that whole thing. I didn't know it. The A&R man, or the artist and record director, he didn't know it. When I got through, the record man said, the A&R said, well, that'll never go. Do something else. So there was a mad trapper, or they thought he was, in the north that had killed a lot of mounted policemen, the Canadian Mounties. And I had written a song called The Capture of Albert Johnson, or The Mad Trapper. They thought he was mad, but he's a very clever man. So I wrote that, and then they asked me if I would sing it. So I sang it, and they said, well, it'll never go. That's a folk song. So unbeknownst, this guy in Canary Heaven, the engineer, also made this into a record. That was an audition. That was the start of me in RCA Victor Records.
Right. In that initial session, or over the past few weeks, from what I read about you, excuse me, you made about over 30 sides within the next few weeks for an initial session. That's what I've been told. Is that any truth to that?
I made 40 sides when I was in New York, and that is 4 albums. I produce them all myself. I don't go near the company, and I never rehearse them, and I don't cut them over. When I cut them once, it's like working on the stage. I make them, you've had them.
You used to record with a fiddler during the 40s, which is he's real famous here in the state of Connecticut, Slim Cox.
That's right. That's right. Slim is a great friend of mine. He's helped me record a great many albums. Great fiddle player, good banjo player, and a great guy.
Right, he lives up in Coventry, Connecticut.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, he's a great fella. This year, I used a fella from the Hee Haw Show, Jackie Phelps. He plays guitar. Then I had a bass fiddle player from New York, and I just kind of messed around on my guitar.
Well, are you still recording now?
I just finished 2 weeks ago, 40 numbers. I cut 40 numbers, and I'll be celebrating right away 40 years with RCA.
That's a long time, and all of your past records are in print in one shape or another.
They're somewhere.
I was trying to get you to sing a song during the afternoon session here at the Bushnell, the Ballad of John Dillinger. And John Dillinger is one of your rarest sides. There's only about 5 or 6 known copies left. Why don't you sing it? It's quite an interesting record.
Well, it was a big record at the time it happened. That goes way, way back. I've had different requests to sing it, and I started to sing it one night, and somebody hollered up from the audience, "What, are you with that guy or something?" So I never sang it since.
Well, times are different now. I think it'd be something interesting to sing it tonight.
Well, it may be, but all the younger people don't know who John Dillinger were. I don't think they do. If they do, they may have heard the recording, or they heard the people talk about it. I heard a show the other night and then looked in on one where they had the life and death of John Dillinger. They had it on a TV. And I was thinking then, well, I wrote that way, way back. And I was just wondering if they had the exact way that it really happened. And I had listened into the radio so close to it and wrote it line by line as I heard over the radio.
What are your plans now? Where do you go from here?
We go to Ohio, Akron, Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, and then we come back and we play Scranton, Pennsylvania, then go up to high up in the New England states, Portland, Maine, up in the Bangor area, and then we cut across to Rochester, then we go to Toronto, then Fort Wayne, Indiana.
And a lot of folks still remember you throughout the Midwest and the Western sections, too?
They sure do. It's just the same as Connecticut here, which is great. And to everybody's listening in from this wonderful state of Connecticut, everybody's been great to me.
Well, don't tell Hank Snow this, but I think you stole the show from him.
Oh, no. I just go out there because I love it. I got quite a kick this afternoon. You know, you'll hear many an artist, they'll say, well, if you give us a little better hand or give us lots of hand, why, we'll put on a better show. And as I said that, I said, no, not this guy. They all started to clap, you know. I said, no, not this guy. I give you everything I got when I go out there. You paid so much money to get in, and I'm not going to go out there and wait for somebody to give me a good hand. When I go out there, I really give it, and you get everything I've got. And that's the way it should be.
Besides show business, Will or Montana, what else do you do?
Oh, I do a lot of fishing.
I heard you own a trailer camp down in Florida.
Well, I used to. No, I owned a motel. I built a motel, and I thought I'd kind of retire. But I found after I run it for a while, I was mostly tired.
I know when grease paint is in your blood and when show business is in your system, you just can't get out of it.
And by the looks, pretty quick now. I think we'll have to be hitting the grandstand.
Okay, thank you very much, Montana, or Wilt, for giving me a few minutes of your precious time.
Thank you so much, and I'll do it anytime.
Bye-bye.